Welcome all the panelists. I'll start with a common question to all. Digitalization is being seen increasingly as a game changer for the future of road and highway infrastructure. And when we look at India, and from your perspective, how do you think digital transformation, what it means for this sector? Especially how it is critical right now in the India stage of development as we move towards Viksit Bharat.
When we talk of digital twin, or it's like I want to see the unseen. I want to create a virtual model that I can interact with the physical asset. And it's a journey. I think what we are doing at the moment is a beginning. Now the question is, what about India? As you rightly said, we are the second largest highway network globally. And we are building about, I think, 25 kilometers of highways on a daily basis. So it's a huge task. Now the question is, what about the quality? How do we make sure that we are achieving the right quality? How we make sure that we are using the optimized costing for the road, for the highways? How do we make sure that we complete the project on time? And how do we achieve the efficiencies that we get from the experience that we are building? So for me, I think all these critical areas of the highway development can be very much addressed by digital technologies that we have. I mean, I come from an international company, but then I'm so proud to see that even at the local platform, we are doing a great job.
Thank you, Hitesh. Praveen.
So talking of the context in the Indian scenario, digitization or any other technology certainly required more than ever now, because what we see India today is something which was visualized way back. As Lord Krishna also said once, Driguhoto Drishya Akand Dekh, you have to look beyond. When you talk in terms of Viksit Bharat 2047 is a time frame. But is it about that particular time frame or maybe beyond? So the journey goes beyond as well. So whatever we are discussing today has to be discussed keeping in mind that it's not only the technology per se. There are so many things which are the outer shell of this Viksit Bharat plan and what lies within the core. Unless we look into it as a holistic picture, we'll not be able to come to the conclusive thing which we are looking at. Now, what we talk in terms of technology and development, there are three things primarily. Of course, the resilient infrastructure, which is the direct subject of discussion today. And somewhere, the very inclusive and a sustainable growth, which is the parameter. Now, that being the outer shell, what lies inside the core, which is the real factor resulting into the transformation, because we are in a stage which is a transforming stage, is the skilled manpower. If the skilled manpower is given the power of technological and the digital tool or technology, then that is going to ensure that we are heading towards something called sustainable, focused, safe environment and a future-ready Bharat, which is going to be the Viksit Bharat. So to what extent we have been able to perceive this technology called digitization or anything revolving around it, and to what extent we have been able to map in terms of our own success achieved or the failures which we have witnessed so far. Why I say mapping? Because we also need to understand while we join this journey that it is no more the fossil kind of fuel which is required to run economies globally today. Data being the new fuel, you need to make it mandatory for every infrastructure subsector to start recording and analyzing the data, right at the root level and also at the top level. I think that's where the involvement of technology is very, very crucial, to the extent that we are able to even nurture the root level people at the infrastructure project who do not have a clue at all how to execute the widespread technology. So what's coming in is very much welcomed and needed. But the question is how ready we are in terms of the masses. Because our country is very well known for many years, and times to come also will be very well known that the major strength the country has is the manpower strength which we have. So we need to upgrade the manpower as well as far as we want to perceive this technology.
Praveen. Vivek.
Thank you, Titas. Thank you, AEC Forum. And regards to all the participants here, I would like to share that our Secretary Road Transport and Highways has already taken an initiative, and the chairman NHAI, they have taken a lot of initiative, and because of that, the digitization has helped a lot in all the segments, right from designing of the highways, even in survey of the highways, then it's designing, then it's construction, and mostly the operation and maintenance part that has been well taken care by this digitization. And we have lot of examples, see, for maintenance, operation and maintenance, this different apps have been developed, and recently this NHI One app, Tatpar app, and the this all the discrepancy on the roads or highways that has been captured, and the drone analytics has been done, and based on that, the various system has been developed so that the maintenance part can be taken care of. Apart from this, the designing part, when we start the survey, in that lidar has helped a lot, and with this geospatial coordinates and data, the 3D model is being prepared, and based on 3D model, digital twin is now going to be created for the projects. And accordingly, our Ministry, Road Transport and Highways, is also bringing the policies to bring in the consultants along with their tie-up with the technology providers, what in the previous, recent presentation we have seen. So it has helped a lot. The digitization has helped a lot in the highway sector. Thank you.
Thank you. Hitesh, I'll move to you next. So you mentioned in your opening remarks that being from a engineering organization that is spread across the world, you have been seeing how India is embracing the digital transformation. But having said that, there are some local challenges, right? In terms of scale and cost and capacity. So, since you have been working globally across markets, how do you ensure this knowledge transfer and adoption of cutting edge digital practices and solutions in the Indian context, especially keeping in mind these challenges?
Yeah, it's a great question. So again, just to give a background on our market here as a company, COWI. In the infrastructure, we have tunnels, highways, airports, bridge and marine. And majority of our projects, they are located outside India. I think the current procurement system, which is lowest bidder or L1, that is prohibitive for us to really maybe get into the business here. But then from this year, we have been looking to progress further in the domestic market. Now, coming to your question on the scalability, again, irrespective of what kind of format. So the operation we have in India, we call this as an engineering and design center. Currently, we have 600 people. So we started this engineering in 2008. So roughly about 17 years. And how we transfer the technologies is depending on the need. So in some cases, we will have a super user or an expert from overseas office. They will come here. They will spend time with the team and training them, where they transfer the knowledge. And that's one way of doing it. Other is that we run academies. So it could be a BIM academy, it could be a civil design academy, it could be a tunnel design academy. So we done, again, especially when we hire the freshers, we run academies of, say, about 30 people, group people, academies. We also have, we develop annual calendars. So when we know that we will need more people with a particular skills, so we plan the annual calendars where we identify either the local training provider or overseas training provider, and they come here and we have classroom sessions. So again, yeah, that's how have been our model. Now coming forward, and what we are today, we work as an integrated team. So we have virtual platforms. So we work with Norway, Sweden, Denmark, North America, UK, all across the globe through virtual platforms, integrated fully. And we have people fully skilled and at par with anybody else on the globe. So to me, I think India has the power. We have a very good talent here. What it needs is the identifying the need and then going ahead with it. But I don't see any limitation in terms of achieving the capacity or the capability that we need to train the people. And specifically when we talk of digitalization or digital twins that way. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was really interesting. Praveen, you did mention, briefly about the role of CIDC in, shaping the industry standards and the capacity building, the workforce readiness. So, how do you see digitalization, influence these policy frameworks, workforce readiness, and also industry collaboration in the construction sector?
Yes, of course. See, when we talk in terms of policy framework, we need to understand something, that these are not small time decisions, these are big time decisions at the national level. You cannot be, revising a policy framework now and then and every time. But then somehow the kind of ingress of technology we have been witnessing as a country, just see the kind of job roles we are witnessing today. We have not witnessed in recent past. These are totally, different kind of job roles. Now, that's where the challenge would come. Our policy should not be a perfect mismatch with what's coming in. So there is a time in terms of continuous revision of the policy framework around it. We might have revised policy at various levels, maybe for an institution or a PSU in particular, we have made some changes in the policy design or the contractual obligations, but that's not about it. You have to understand something, that's a continuous process because you are in transformation. So that's number one as far as the policy framework. It's not one particular point which I can reflect here. So many, like I'll quote something. Way back when we started the journey as Construction Industry Development Council, the Nirman Udyog Vikas Parishad, the biggest challenge was that we want to develop this country as a developed nation. But if you really, as a layman, if you perceive a developed country, you would imagine that, beautiful road network, very, high-end kind of building structures, the civic amenities and everything else, exactly like what somebody would imagine as a developed nation. But to plan that on paper is something else. To execute that, you need a lot of changes. And we were talking of, the time when we did not had the fund to basically imagine these projects and convert that into reality. So you want to bring in funds from outside, but look at the kind of policy framework which you had. Very rigid. You cannot be having a welcoming policy with rigid approach. So you need to change that if you want to be welcoming. That's exactly what we need to do as a country now. Our country is absolutely resourceful, as just now mentioned by my fellow panelist. But then, we have to involve ourselves at every level, be it the policy change or change at a very, very minute level. Now, why do we face problems and why does it take time? I still remember that on our construction industry, about 3 decades back, and most of you would agree with me who are from the construction background, that there was no culture for safety, to the extent that on many projects, even the basic, PP compliance was defeated majorly. The safety shoes and the basic compliances were not, taken care of properly at many, many projects. That was the time. And to overcome that, we made it mandatory, and we introduced in the general conditions and contract of CPWD, we introduced a contractual clause called 19K, which spells out that any project Beyond 5 crores value in the country, there has to be at least 10% of the workforce skill tested and certified. Gradually, we brought it up to 20%, and with Central Vista coming in, since we had the benefit of being the core committee member, we brought it up to 40%. So 40% is benchmark now. But very honestly, when we go and inspect the projects today, I'm talking of the mega projects which I inspect, I fail to see even 10% workforce skill tested and certified and matching the pre-qualification of the project. In such situation and scenario, it's a big challenge to perceive the technology, to perceive digitization, to perceive all those things which are the global concepts. Also, let me just tell you, recently we were doing a lot of brainstorming, as we always do. We realized that about 26 to 27% of the national income accounting which we book in from outside, which we earn from outside, is sourced through selling and providing the services from this country. You talk in terms of management services, medical services, consultancy services, engineering services, everything around it. So put together, 26 to 27% is a handsome figure. But the very question, let's talk of engineering, which is the technical backbone of every infrastructure project. Outside the country, many developed nations have a concept of professional engineer. There the engineers are licensed, otherwise they are not, the engineer cannot sign a paper. But in our country, do we have professional engineers? How many people in this room would know that there is a concept called National Register of Professional Engineers, which Engineering Council of India maintains today? Because of the intervention of CIDC, AICT, and every institution of engineering. And we have also introduced another clause. We've literally hammered the industry people to the extent that in your project, if you are a professional project, you should have at least 25% of the total engineers on the project as professional engineers. They should be serving the National Register. Why? Because unless it is made mandatory in this country, nobody likes to follow this kind of tough changes. That's where it is. So one has to make a tough call at every level. You want to bring in technology, you have to make it mandatory. You want to bring in practices and match the international standards, you have to make it compulsory. Otherwise, it's a far-fetched dream. That's why in my opening line I said, Driguhoto Drishya Kant Dekh, and the follow-on line is, Mujhme Sara Brahmand Dekh. It's a world full of opportunity. But one has to understand and one has to get serious about it.
Thank you, Praveen, for sharing this interesting take. I would like to understand one, I would request you for one big shift that you think maybe, in mindset or policy or technology, do you believe will be most crucial in the years to come for India's, especially for roads and highway infrastructure? Vivek, we can start with you.
See, the very first thing in the highway sector, the challenge, based on the challenge, what we are facing is the timely completion of the project within the time frame. The second thing is the quality, and that too, the road has only one thing, is the compaction. And that compaction is being taken care of by this geospatial technology, what we have adopted in the Lucknow-Kanpur package. But on the first part, what I have said, we have to be firm on the completion of the project, and that has been taken care of by one of the initiative we have taken under the guidance of our chairman sir, this highway information modeling platform. Can we share that if it is there? So that 5D information management platform has been started in National Highway Authority of India. Originally we are doing the traditional infrastructure system, and now this complete construction of these projects next has been taken through this digital twin, in which 3D model, digitized 3D model will be there, and it will be powered with this time integration, duration of the project, and the time-based cost. Aage chaliye. So this is what we are going to proceed in National Highway Authority of India for all the national highway projects, so that the projects can be completed within the scheduled time frame. It is similar to that of BIMS, what our earlier speakers were speaking. So this is what, when we do this modeling, 3D modeling, then a self-sustained system is being developed, and all the operators or the designers, they themselves find the things that where is the conflicts are. So in this, if you see in this model, you can see the drain is stopped abruptly. So that all these things can be taken care of now through this digital model. And even when we do the terrain modeling, this our cross section and our the road, that itself finds where the conflicts and where the discrepancies are there, that can be taken care of by this highway information modeling platform. We can do it, we are doing it in our designing part also with the help of Grant Thornton and Bentley. They are proceeding with this. And another thing, what we have done for the quality part is the automated machine guided control system. This is by using this geospatial and instrumentation and artificial intelligence. The compaction part of the construction has been addressed by implementing it on the graders and on the compactors, so that the roads, the quality that get increased, and we will get the benefit of this advanced technology. Thank you.
Thank you. Praveen, very quickly, if you can share one big shift that you think that is really needed for, and critical at this stage.
The targets at the national level are very, very high. $5 trillion economy. But look at the capacity. It doesn't match at all. So we all need to come together to do something so that it matches the target somewhere. And to do that, CIDC has incorporated a national database of service providers. I'm sure many of you have so many services or product to provide to the construction industry, which is widespread. So there is a platform which is already available at the national level. Anybody and everybody who feels that they have any kind of technology or service to be provided, they should route it through the authentic approved channel, which is commonly available to everybody at no cost. You have the website, CIDC database, you search on the Google, you will be straight away going to the website, and you have the wide variety of segregated service providers there. Why that is required? It's required because, the brands have to interconnect. The buyer has to be connected with the seller, whether it's an idea, whether it's a service, whether it's a product. So there has to be a perfect blend of the connection, and somebody has to take the responsibility, which we are doing. So my appeal and request to everyone, kindly look at the forum and do participate. It's open for everybody. And these are the ways through which we'll be able to bring in a shift. I would also take one more minute if that's allowed. I still remember when NHAI had a problem, all of a sudden the Honorable Minister announced that the kind of progress which we are witnessing year on year in terms of constructing the highways, national level, that's not enough. So we need to speed up almost 3 times. But how do you do that? You can speed up the execution part. But what about the monitoring part? You need to bring in technology. So there was a requirement, sir, that we had to bring in drone technology during that time. And we were so surprised when we floated the tender for the bidders to come in. I don't know from where, 47 organizations came in and participated, and none of them had the authentic drone, and none of the organizations had even, the drone licensed pilot to operate those drones. Similar situation with DFCCIL. Lot of construction of the freight corridors, but how do you monitor that? How do you examine that? What is it that's going to give you go ahead? It's technology, certainly, but where are the operators? Where is the license to work on that technology? So we need to understand these things in a very holistic way. You talk of building constructions today, look at the best of the best buildings. You will see the walls seeping, a lot of water. Is the waterproofing product faulty? No, it's an internationally acclaimed product. It's the application part of waterproofing which is faulty. Nobody's taking care of that. I'm again addressing the only paradigm shift. If you really want to perceive, you have to take everything in a holistic way. You cannot ignore the manpower which is behind every technology. And India is rich in terms of the hands we have here in the country. It's just that we have to cautiously come together, handhold that particular thing, and CIDC is already doing it. Come and join hands. It's an organization which has about 127 members, NHAI, Engineers India Limited. You talk of CPWD, government departments, PSUs, and the private side, almost everybody is there. So please come in and let's, walk that journey together. Thank you.
Yeah, so for me, I think the shift we need is the mindset. Because then I think once we have the mindset or the will, you can say, I think the policy and the technology will fall in place. When I say this, that means we need ownership from the project owners, from the contractors, from the consultants, all stakeholders. So that also means that the people have to be skilled. They have to be, or you can say, re-skilled across all of these organizations. It cannot be just one organization working and rest watching it. I think it has to be a coherent and cohesive approach to bring that change, because we are talking of resilient infrastructure. The infrastructure that will last long. So yeah, that's from me.
Thank you. Thank you to all the panelists for sharing your insights.